This piece a couple times this summer, so it's fun to be able to hear it again, and everything sounds much better. So you've done some great work since then. Let's actually just circle back to the very beginning. So we don't have that much time, so I just want to touch on a couple things. So the first thing is in the introduction. Can you just start from the right here, from the very beginning one more time? Good. So I think what's important to think about for this opening is sort of, it can start to feel like we're just trying to play loud like the whole time, and we lose a sense of direction. So if you can kind of think of what the important notes are and then travel from this note, so the first, so just think about, really it's just the E, go, A, all the way to the D. Yeah, so the notes in between, you know, sometimes it can be really to try to do too much, but just go to the next one, and then we don't feel like we're waiting in quicksand a little bit too much. We're gonna start from, just play that one phrase one more time. Good. So we can play. I feel like we're arriving and it's set up to bowing, so we always get to a down bow even. So, and then your first a little more on the pickup so it doesn't get lost. Good. And so then even the E itself, I feel like it's not sort of a note where we attack it and let it go. So it almost has a crescendo all the way to the B. So can you make sure you're crescendo with the bow and get to the when you get to the tip, okay? Good. Keep going. Good. So I'm gonna play the last thing. I'll just play with you one time just to get the pacing. Ready? Go. Good. So it's almost like you're playing half the amount of time, and I still think it's effective, and you don't feel like, you know, you're it's so easy to be tired by the time you just play the first 3 lines. You want to do the next one? Good. Same thing for, I think those go into the chord, right? So 2, 3, pop. The orchestra plays the chord. So don't let that, you know, and you know, too much like that. That was great. Want to play from here? Yeah, we can try it. Second time, and probably the biggest one, so it's the highest one. This be really even more sound, okay? You can start right Good. So then this kind of brings me C into the next thing I want to talk about, which is something we worked on a little bit this time, is keeping the bow straight on the A string and closer to the bridge, just because when it opens up, it's a little too soft. You can just play an open A string, as close to the bridge as you can get it without, you know, doing one of those things, and see if you can keep it straight all the way to the tip. So I think you can get closer to the bridge if you can. As close as you can. Good. Good, so that's pretty good. So the only thing is when you get to the tip, it kind of backs away and you let it go. See if you can a little crescendo to the tip. Good, and now let's go back and forth. This is where you're going to need to play for the C. So you play here, it won't be the same. Okay, you play the back and forth now, opening. Good, now let's play 4 notes. Okay, you can do it again. So the goal is when we get to the C, we're next to the bridge, okay? Good, so a little more weight and the straight bow, and it's already much louder. Good. Good, now let's slower too. Good, now try over. Lost a little something, so it was better when you did the two. Actually, from now, you want to start from here, and then playing. So really bring, so we want that C, that high, to pop out of the texture the moment you get there. So really remember your straight bow and closer to the bridge. Okay, right there. And see if you can do it even more so good. So bow speed, close to the bridge, a little weight, okay? Good, that's much better. So the same thing, we can skip to here. Can you start there? It's like measure 76. Actually, maybe better to start out these are right there. So I just think, let's play. I'm going to hear like 2 lines from here. And just think about the same thing, really pushing the limit, finding as close as you can get to the bridge without it getting too scratchy. And for you, it's actually quite a bit closer than you're used to, okay? Just for that. From the string, it fights you. Right? So everybody's bow slows down. Try to get the bow speed. So bow. If I just play close, I need the speed. Okay, we're gonna try it. Last thing we'll do, we have time for it, unfortunately, is you just play from, and then try to use bow speed and the new placement contact point. You start much faster though. Okay? Good. Keep going. Yaw, da, da, lots of it. So it's good to always remember projection. We're not playing the trumpet, but we want to project just like a trumpet does in a big hall. I mean, this isn't the biggest space, obviously, but we still need to always remember that. Okay, and that's about all we have time for. So, that's not much better. But again, it's good to see you.
Rebecca's a student of mine. She's in 12th grade, and she's playing elegy.
I assume you know what an elegy is, right? So what does elegy mean, just so everybody knows?
Like a eulogy kind of?
Yeah, so something written for somebody who's died, usually. Do you know who Fauré wrote this for?
I do not.
So it's actually, he wrote this for his wife, who passed away. So I remember playing this as a kid, and like I sort of vaguely knew like what this was about, like elegy, you know. But like the first time I heard that, all of a sudden it's like, this is a piece a famous composer wrote for his, you know, wife who passed away. So it makes you sort of approach it, and you just even look at it like very differently. So obviously it's not a, I mean there's some happy, or I guess you could say nostalgic moments in it, but it's not exactly a happy piece. And so I guess what's difficult is how to sort of communicate that, or you know, make it different than, you know, something that is about a different subject matter. So I think you play this very well, your bow. So I think a lot of the sort of the darkness comes from, especially in the opening phrase, it's sort of this, you climb from, you start here, you go to the C natural, but the whole way it's perfectly sustained, and it's this sort of, you know, impending doom sort of feeling, I think. And you're doing a wonderful job with the bow. One thing I do notice is a lot of, between every note, you have a great vibrato, which is the good news. I don't know, probably people talk to you about this, but you do stop before every note. And it's almost in a, like a rhythmic solo. And I'm wondering what happens if you try the whole time and connect the notes with the vibrato as well as with the bow. Can you maybe just start from the beginning and see if you can not stop vibrating the whole, we're going to play the whole first line all the way to the pianissimo section, okay? Try that. Improvement in keeping it. So let's. What's your favorite finger to vibrate? Do you have
Second.
Second favorite? Do you have a second favorite? For your first. Okay. So can you maybe go back and forth, 1, 2, and perhaps that's even easier. And try not to stop the vibrato motion if you can. Okay. So you can pick any two notes. Why don't you do G and A flat, and just not stop vibrating. Okay, so it's I think as soon as you're thinking about it, it's already 80% there. Okay, let's try the first line one more time, and it's does it feel a little weird? One thing I noticed, and it's very easy once you start trying to keep a vibrato going, it's easy for sort of the pitch and some other things to go on you, but still, it's almost like just try to relax more and just try to keep that sound into the next note as much as you can. Okay, let's try it. You can do it with the piano, and you can play the first part. It's pretty well glued. One thing I hear sometimes right before the bow change, it gives a little extra speed or something. So can we now eliminate vibrato and just play? You're doing in the bow to make sure there isn't any involuntary bow speed changes or maybe contact point where it creates sort of an extra crescendo or diminuendo or accent or something you don't want. And she did it by herself. Do you ever play this without vibrato? Yeah, it's very weird, right? You suddenly feel very exposed. You try one more time. That's good for a first try. So just same thing. Just try to. You can be very mindful of what your bow arm's doing the whole time. Okay, one more. So that's just sort of another technique to practice the opening. So we're trying to keep the vibrato going, and then also just playing without vibrato so you can hear what's going on. Let's skip to measure 30. You want to play like 5 bars from there against so from 30 to like, I don't know, end of 34.
With me?
Yeah, sure. That'd be good. Yeah.
30 would be
There we
measured
go.
up or something.
Yeah, it's the a tempo where it changes.
Sorry, I see now.
the beginning. I don't think this is that. It gets a little ingrained. And then I think it gets a little dark again. But so this part right here though, I think is the most French sounding to me of this whole piece. So and when we associate sort of French sound in classical music, a lot of it is fast, narrow vibrato. So it's not all you would and then plenty of bow speed. So that's where I think you can use a little instead of just really start to move the bow a little bit. You just play a couple open A's. So back and forth with a lot more speed and farther away from the bridge. So yeah, right, that's great. Try to let the weight of the bow is all you really need. So I'm not really holding the bow down. I'm sort of just letting the weight of the bow. So the bow will lead your hand, okay? Good, just to speed out. Now add with the left hand if you can. Good, that's right, that's true. Just play those three notes, so. And don't forget your vibrato. Yeah, so that sort of fluffy. I don't know if you go to the art museum, you see all the impressionist French painters where it's like hazy. So that's why I think you get kind of 4 or 5 bars to kind of get that French sound, and then it's back to doom and despair and sadness and all that. So, but wonderful job. So I think that's great. So thank you very I got it.
Give this
Okay.
to her. All right, so next is Margaret Leon playing Lalo, first movement.
Yep.
Did I say your last name right?
That's fine.
And Margaret studies with Dr. June Seo, right?
Just extend this out.
Yeah, did you got it? playing. So I want to talk about your bow holds specifically.
Oops.
Have people talked to you about this before? A little bit. So one thing, and you played very, very well. Margaret does is she almost doesn't use her pinky. She sort of rests the bow over here. So it's actually, it makes it pretty easy to stay relaxed, which your bow arm is very relaxed. It's pretty easy to sustain. Unfortunately, you lose a lot of finger action and flexibility. So especially off the string strokes. One thing where it's really showing up for you in just this piece is when you play like stuff like that, all of the jagged stuff. So this is Lalo's French, like Foray, but he liked writing Spanish music. So this is supposed to be very Spanish. So I think of like sort of like swashbuckler, Three Musketeers, sort of like, you know, the bow is a sword almost. So a lot of those things you were kind of struggling with getting the articulation. And I suspect a lot of that just from how you hold the bow. So it actually also, Margaret, your pinky is almost ahead of your thumb by the end of the piece.
It's either that or it flies off the bow. So.
Yes. So the way you're holding it right now is great. It's just that you actually started already with the bow sort of in the palm. So I'm curious what would, I mean, a lot of people who hold it the way you do normally, when they switch to this, it gets incredibly tiring because you're activating a muscle over here that you don't use, right? So, but here, can you just hold the bow? So one thing, the reason we try to have two fingers behind the thumb so we can actually control this. In addition to what you're doing gives you a lot of weight to lean in front. But then if you ever have to like lift the bow up, it's incredibly hard to hold the bow when you're in the air, even with that. So you just try to, you know, I don't like to mess with stuff like this in master classes, but just I'll be a vote for a little bit more pinky and fourth finger involved. Just like that, that's great. Okay, so can you play from, it's measure 84. So that area, okay? Yeah, so, more time. So just, now you're gripping with the pinky. It should be a little easier to get attacks. Before it was you're almost playing on this string, okay? Good. So let's just do that slowly. Just those three pickups. Good. So now you have controls. You can use little fingers. Set the bow between every note to get the cut. Good. It's going to be a little hard. So it's a little more arm, and then the fingers give it a little kick. Okay. Good. And you can play closer to the bridge. So those are sounds that you weren't really able to make before. Keep trying. Next one. Try that one. Good. So make sure you're starting to lose the pinky.
Yeah.
But it's just this is a long-term thing for you. It's not gonna change overnight. So let's play from it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 after. So C, same thing here, getting articulation. It's almost impossible the way you're holding the bow far. So you can play slowly. Oh, okay, that's fine. Whatever you want to do, I just want the up with articulation. Yeah. Good. So the idea is all of these notes with dots on them, that you weren't getting a whole lot of articulation on them before. But I think the bow hold can help with that. Okay, so let's go back to skip the introduction because we already worked on someone else. Why don't we start from 23 and then we'll have a little piano and then we'll work on it as we go. Okay. Here, we'll play.
Is that my so?
Yeah, from. Yeah, so right where you play. So actually, how's that? Are you trying to hold it a little differently? How does it feel?
Tiring.
Yeah. So one thing, actually, so if we just think about where we are in the bow. So at the tip, what's going to be the fingers that are most important at the tip are what would you say? With thumb, obviously, we have to use more, and then it's mostly first finger, right? Because we're leaning in. One thing I noticed when you're now going to the frog, your pinky's up still. Actually, the frog is where we can start to feel this side. So we get a little more pinky involvement, and it's almost like it's evenly distributed between all of your fingers. So if you want to do a couple open, whatever string you want, G string, fine. So feel the weight swing back into this side of your hand for at the frog. Okay. Yeah, so it's getting. Where we feel like this area, like this side of the hand, and the pinky is involved. Okay. Good. So there's a little bit of a. We always talk about. It's almost like we're making an imaginary half circle in the air. So down bows and then up bows, where it's almost a U shape, right? So I'm making a U, but then the string is there, so I actually can't do it because it just allows me to get sustaining all the way to the. Here, just do a down bow and try to imagine making a half. Good, and then the up bow is the reverse. And so then you feel it really right in there, okay? I'll try again. So do that. Good, so that'll keep the bow glued to the string. We're gonna play from on all those sustain notes, really feel the connection. that feeling when you play those notes. Okay, add the sixes. Good. Keep going. The next one. 2, 3, 4, 1. Good. Yeah, same thing. It's that articulation there where if you're just sort of clubbing it or having it in your palm, it's really hard to get that articulation. Okay. Good. Very good. Let's just hear a little bit more. Keep going. Good. Last note. Feel the pinky get good. And so you're almost like scooping the sound out from this side of the hand a little bit instead of straight across. Yeah, too close to the bridge, but that's right. You're just gonna you want to feel that side of the hand, okay? Good. So that actually, I mean, I feel like you can transition to using more pinky pretty quickly. I mean, it's I know it's a comfort thing, but you can do it. Just practice, and then like especially in orchestra, like if you're, don't let yourself get tired and then start to do this again. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Bravo.
All right, so we are halfway through class. I asked everybody to just stand up because it's a good idea to stand up and move your body around for half an hour. Move around a little bit. Yes, thank you. It will help us maintain our concentration for the second half. Okay, so next is Stephen Shaw playing the fourth movement Elgar. Stephen is also a student of Dr. Kathy Lair.
And stop. Thanks. Bravo, Steven. So I've known Steven since he was very young. So the last time I saw him was years ago. I was trying to get him to play closer to the bridge a little bit more, and he has really absorbed that. So your sound is huge. You're maximizing all the volume you can get out of the cello for sure. Now, actually, I think you can dial it back a little bit and just think about sound production as a horizontal sort of thing, right? So it's very vertical and it's great. If you can just think about, you only need as much weight as you can to get the string vibrating side to side. So you don't need any more. So especially on the A string, it gets a little crunchy sometimes, which I'm sure you can hear. So let's just go back to the very opening, and it's only forte. So think about maximal resonance and nothing more than just getting as much resonance out of the cello. So you can probably back off and think instead about always using every inch of the bow. Okay? So not so much a downward thing, but figuring out where you can use more horizontal movement as much as you can. Okay, you guys play from 42. Good. So the very first note, you're not actually getting all the way to the tip. So instead of think about getting all the way to the tip. Okay? So that's your goal for that, the first note. Okay? Good. that sort of U shape where when you get, you're kind of making this motion at the tip to make sure the bow stays in the string, and then not so much a hard sort of pressure thing. Okay, first notes. Good, and now let's talk about how do you want to attack the first note. Do you want to cut? Do you want more of a? Or do you want a? What are you looking for? Okay, so that's fine. So we just have to decide that that's what you're looking for, okay? Good, so let's get the cut and then resonance, okay? So instead of don't stay in, cut and then back off so we get more resonance and a little less of the crunchy sound. Good, and then now you just have to take your, the G has to be even a little more than the A, okay? And then when you get the U, now we're not constant, use lots of horizontal space to get the resonance. Okay, let's just hear the whole first line. I won't stop for this time. I think that do you want the second note to be more than the first note or less?
Where?
So we have to get the E and then the G. Do you want the G to be more, less, the same, crescendo, diminuendo? What do you want to do with the second note of the movement? This is something to think about. Yeah, so I would say a little more than the first note, and the tension goes all the way to the grace note. So don't let go of the G too much. You don't want that. It's not like a restart. So go all the way to the second bar. Okay, and then when you get to the O, try to get a D string. So sink in a little more, and then G. It's different than and you're playing it there for a reason, so enjoy that sound. Okay, good, very good. Almost out from the very beginning. Good, so I do that. It's a little, you want the grace note needs a little more energy. Okay. Yeah, keep going. His eyes. Good here. More bow on those. Otherwise it gets a little too tight setting. But bro, more bow on those two. Okay. So we got a little extra crunch on these. So we're gonna play. I like the attack, but it's when you stay in too much. You have to attack and then release. Otherwise, it just becomes sort of a sustained sort of. Yeah, I can play those 3 notes. Yeah, let's go slow. Go. So the C is pretty good. A, make sure your up bow is the same as the down bow. Good. Good. One more time, same thing. Good. So don't play from her. Yeah, just a little little less crunch. So back off enough and just attack, and then only resonance, right? Keep going. Good, so it's go all the way to the end. Go all the way to that. Okay, we'll play from good, and then a dum, bum, bum. I know it's a cadenza, but still, it still has to feel like 1, 2, and the rhythm, yeah? Good, and this can be a little, so the vibrato is very intense right now. Can you let it relax a little bit? So you're building towards the that part, right? So just feel a little bit more. I think this part is sort of introspective, and it's not so, guns blazing as the last couple lines. So think of this a little bit more like you would play Bach or something. It's just chords and resonance. Okay, we'll play from there. Wait, and then feel like a crack of a whip, and then you're off, right? Good, keep going. Good, so you play this 1, 2, no grace notes at all. Because right having, you're almost, when you play, the grace notes are getting a little, there's almost taking too much importance, and it's changing the rhythm a little bit. So you play no grace notes like that, okay? Yeah, so da, da, bum, 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 bum. Really straight, okay? Same thing. Yum, bum, 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 bum. Good. So the marking here is risoluto. So it's like, it's a little marchy. So if you let the grace notes bend the rhythm too much, it loses the sort of rhythmic drive. Okay, now thumb, but yeah, make sure you get to the in time for the beat. No matter what happens with the grace note, you land on the da with the beat. Okay. Good, and the last thing you do is add a little thing in the bow. So it's not I'm not keeping the bow speed the same. I'm giving a little, just a little extra speed with the bow on the note itself, as opposed to the grace note. Okay, I'll try the last time. Yeah, dum ba ya da 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 da. Yep. You're rushing. The rusher from Peru. Don't let that get out of control. Okay, over there from. Start from the beginning of that section. It's getting a little too fast. Okay. good. So really, go to the C even more and enjoy. A little enjoy that note a little bit more. Okay. Good. So see, this is something I think like with Rebecca, I think you can practice this part slowly with no vibrato at all. Just to kind of hear what your bow is doing a lot of the time. It ends up being the way you're playing it is great. It's just very intense and it doesn't relax. This is the part where you can relax a little bit. Okay, you want to play one time, no vibrato, slowly. Okay, you hear the sound here is a little. Take care of the sound there too, Ron. Okay, and then the only note that really needs vibrato is the top. Okay, so don't make the vibrato too much of a feature of what you're doing. It's you're just going to the C and then vibrate juicy on that. Okay. Good thing. Keep going. Yeah, this is great. Unless you'll say more on the accents and everything else less. Let's play from 48. There's more accents in it. Yeah, very good. See, so overall though, just listen. You can hear when sometimes you get a little extra crunch, right? So figure out what you can do to eliminate that unless it's absolutely what you want. Okay? And for you, mostly it's just going to be you attack with a lot of weight and then you don't let up the pressure. You can attack and still get the cut and then you just have to sort of back off and then let it just search for resonance after that initial sort of attack. Okay? Very good. Okay.
Also playing Elegy, Eileen studies with Stephanie Hart.
for rheology. And can you go right to here? So one thing to think about here. So you're playing beautiful sostenuto throughout. Think about the second beats are more important. So bring out the second beat and the first beat. I don't think has to be legato. There's almost a breathlessness to same thing here. Just out of there's a little space. Okay, so it's almost like a pick up into the second beat, which is important, right? You try that. Yeah, so let's have a lift. So it doesn't, this part has a little bit more air in it, so it doesn't have to be quite as sustained as the beginning. Keep going from the, yeah, let's, actually keep it at the piano, if you don't mind. From measure 10, please. It's just those two G's. Yeah, so really, space. And then start again. Imagine it's always 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Second beat towards the front. Maybe can you start at 14? Triple P, but it still has to have an intensity to it. So how should we do that, do you think? How do we maintain the intensity at such a soft dynamic? Yes, exactly. So vibrato like it's forte, maybe a little not quite as wide, but you have a great vibrato for this, but keep that vibrato going. Even if it's really soft, okay? And play right there. Good. Yeah. I think you can fall even farther from the bridge, okay? 3, go. Good. And maybe, actually, the vibrato is so intense. I think you can do a little less and think of it a little bit, if you can, if you keep your hands sort of positioned closed a little more, you can make it a little narrow. Sometimes if you get too open, then it gets really wide. Just so small, a narrow, but still intense vibrato, okay? Good. Now this is where it gets hard. Good. So Eileen, if you can, still try to keep that long one because you're going from all the way to there. There isn't really a place to breathe in it. It's just one long line. Okay, you're gonna go with the piano. Great. At 18. Yeah, so same place. So here, actually, people always stop. So are you still in the melody here? Right where we got to. Bar 23. We have Are you playing the melody or accompaniment?
I think accompaniment.
Yes. So you can actually back up, and then here I think you can be a little more transparent. So too much vibrato brings too much attention to what you're doing. But basically, the pianist is playing what you will have in like 8 bars or 6 bars or whatever it is. Okay. So here you can just fade into the background and take a little break. Okay. We'll play from 30 or 23. Or he has two beats and then you come in. Okay. You can think about it now as an accompaniment role supporting the melody. So he he's going to that. So you have that bar. So go to that G. So if you look at bar 25, that G is the most important note you play in those whole 2 bars. Okay, so imagine you can listen to the piano melody and try to play with him, sing with him, and support where he grows a little bit or where he has direction. Try to do the same thing with what you're doing without getting in the way as much as you can. Okay, same thing from right there. away from that into, you know, sort of the doom and gloom sort of sound, do you think?
Probably
33. Yes. So when you start out, by the time you get here, make sure you're sustaining again. And you're not doing that as much as you can, just to make that turn. And then the last thing we have time for, can you just quickly play, when you play the, it was great. I think you add a little more jagged. It was almost too smooth the way, but you play it slowly. Still sustain, but add a little sharpness to your attack, okay? Good, one more time, so we'll do it together, 3, go. Good, we play fast. Because you're gonna need to have a little bit of that drive, okay? You wanna play that? So one is you suddenly go da ba ba ba. So count the don't really slow down too much until the last couple of notes. Okay? Can you play from here? Yeah, Zizi, you really want, if you just do a solo. In tempo, one time, okay? Go again. Still feel the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, save this retard for the last couple of notes, okay? Otherwise, it will feel like you grind to a sudden halt, and like I'm really the people, especially if you know the piece, it just feels like you stopped all of a sudden without sort of any warning or something. So, but, very good. So, bravo. That's all I
Brody Van Wave, who is the final Capular student, who Capular says hi from Mexico, by the way. Brody, can you just stand?
I mean, sure. I was gonna maybe. Well,
I'll leave it up there.
Brody, I'll let you decide how much you want to play for this, just in case. I don't know how much. How much were you planning on playing?
I mean, I can play the
Whole thing? Let's stop after the development section.
You can play it really fast, too.
Yeah, or play it really fast. Up to you.
if you want.
Let's stop after the development section.
Oh, shit. Can I grab my rock? Stop real quick.
No problem. Do you want that?
Oh,
Or is that the one you want? Does that work?
Yeah.
I can get you rock up if you want.
No, this one works.
And we'll stop there. Great job, Brody. This is such a fun movement. Can we try something real quick? Can you just angle your bow so I can see how? Can you try tightening your bow a little bit, just a little bit, and then just play the opening again. So I'm losing. It's very good. The left hand root. What I'm losing is articulation in the bow. So especially when you play all these, those eighth notes. Whenever you have it like, for instance, in the second part, I don't. It's almost like. More articulation and almost all of the eighth notes. So you can think of your eighth notes having a little more attack, and then just play from the beginning. We'll stop as we go. Okay. Good. So that's already better. Can you just play? Articulation. So I would suggest 1, 2, 3. Fast retakes after every half note with the tie into the next one. Okay? I want to play from you can just start at 40, 2, 3. Yeah, so let's do it slowly one time. 2, retake set. Before you play solo. 2, set. Yeah, so I'm not attacking from the air. I'm setting the bow to set. There you go. It's a little better. So 2, 3. We need that articulation, otherwise it just becomes kind of a little bit of a jumble. Okay, one more time. So to reset. So 3. All the eighth notes need a little bit more attack. Okay, wrong time from right here. 2, 3. Good. Even those chords, I know I'm beating this. It doesn't. You don't need to. A little more. It's a little too soggy. Okay? It is light and quick and articulate as you can. Well, yeah. We're going to really piece this apart. So now all of your runs need direction. So this has here we go. Feel that motion towards the top of the run. And instead of just right now, it's very like you're just trying to get the text done. You know, feel the direction in all the runs. Okay, same place. Yeah, you got faster bow. So right now you're not using a whole lot more bow to bring out the accent, and then But that's much better. So instead of really need to yank it. Okay, one more time from right there. 1, 2, 3, go. Good. So here we can. That's good. So the articulation. So I would think about what you want to bring out here. For I kind of like to bring out the beta. Something, so otherwise it just becomes a little boring, right? Here, play from 60, and think about maybe banging out the bass a little bit more, okay? So you want to try that? Can you, sorry, I'm going to make you start. Where we're going to start. Can you start right there? 2, 3, go. Good. Yeah, it's something, just something to have a little fun with it. Keep going for. You can just keep going for right there. Good. So you can hear it now. So and then you're stuck out here, and you have no way of really being articulate. 2, 3. So do a little quick 1, 2, 3. A little retake, okay? Same thing right there from 50 right there. Yeah, try one again. Retake. Bop, 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 bop. Good. So same thing. So Brad. So still phrase. So it's not just the same thing over there, right? Here. 2, 3. It's the articulation on right there. Good. The expressivos part. I think you can really change the stroke now, because this is the first time you go from that to near melodic. So use those 3 eighth note pickups to change sort of the feeling of it, and then really get into an espressivo. You know, this is no longer a spicky playing; it's a little bit more legato. Okay, right here. Is it right there? Disconnect a little bit more. Otherwise, you know, start from right there. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I don't think you. Whatever finger. back, a little quick retake to the middle of the bow. Okay, right there, and then we'll keep going.
Can I take a look at that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so same thing. Those still needs to be short. Still the same thing. I know I keep saying everything. Can you want to start? These are right there. That's actually don't do that. It's just me. These are from they're over here. Let's start right there. Good. So, Bernie, last thing we'll do. So, what I would suggest for this, it ends up looking like 2 pages of like etude or something. But when you practice it, still bring out slowly phrase. So those run. So when you play them slowly, you're working into phrases. So you still have to, you can't just play it too straight, otherwise it stops sounding like music. It sounds a little bit like an etude. So I would suggest practicing this whole section under tempo, and when you metronome, and you've obviously been working on it slow to fast. Still work in as much, almost like over phrase at the slower tempo, and then when you play it fast, then you'll hear it. So let's just do a little bit, like these are from. So the important thing is the F, A, F. And then a little bit of a leading to the top there, okay? So just like da 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 bum 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 bum, and really bring out the notes you want. Yeah, sorry.
Where?
Yeah, da 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 bum bum. So really bring out. Yeah, so the way to play, just lengthen a little bit as you go up the scale, the bow stroke, okay? Remember, good, then yeah, keep going, That's right, yeah. Same thing. Same thing, right? So phrase. Just always practice at the slow tempo when you're drilling. Drill in the phrasing as much as you can, and then it'll take care of itself when you play it fast. Because right now it's all very even, but I don't. Certain notes are more important than others, and they're all sound pretty equal right now, and they'll bring out a little more of the spirit. But yeah, and then other than that, then I every time these eighth notes have to have life and a little articulation. They're never really, sometimes your articulation and the way you play them varies really greatly just on where you ended up in the bow. So try to unify that, and if it's not the same, then make sure it's for a reason. Okay? All right, very good.